This video will be the second part of the Factorising Quadratics video, and I have two scenarios. So this one is only a little bit harder than the first set of quadratics we did, and if you haven't watched that video, I recommend watching that first. And the second example is probably the hardest GCSE example you will probably get, so wait around for that one. So 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. Just like before, we want to look at the factors of 6. So the factors of 6, just like we talked about in the last video as well actually, 1 and 6, 2 and 3. You might be thinking, there's no way you can make 8 by adding or subtracting these numbers. Now the difference that we have with these type of numbers, with these types of quadratics, is the 2x squared at the start. So if you think about your double bracket, normally we would have an x and then add or something, and then another x and add or subtract something. And when we multiply this out, it leaves us with x squared at the start. However, because we want a 2x squared, we have to put a 2 in front of the first x. This means that when you expand the bracket out, because imagine your claws go like this and this second number is going to be multiplied by that 2 as well as the x. So bear this in mind. So with this one, for example, let's take the 1 and the 6. I think both would work. So the number that goes in the blue box would have to be the one that is being multiplied by 2. So if we've got 6 plus 2, that will give us 8. And to get that 2, that must be the 1 multiplied by 2. So that's what we need to do. So we've got plus 1 that goes in that box, and we're going to have a plus 6 in this box. Now you can see quickly, if we were to expand this out, so I'll draw the other claw on as well. So 2x multiplied by x, we have 2x squared. 2x multiplied by 1 is going to be plus 2x. And then the bottom claw, we've got plus 6x and plus 6. If we simplify this down by collecting these terms here, 2x squared plus 8x plus 6 is going to be our final answer. And you can see that takes us back up to here. So that must be correct. So that's the first kind of example. So you have to think about what number you put where. And the order does matter this time, because that 1 has to go in that place. Okay, let's have a look at the second example. One thing I'd like to add is if you have a prime number at the start, so that could be 2, 3, 5, 7. I've never really seen anything higher than 7, especially at GCSE. Then it's going to be fairly straightforward, because the only combination you can have at the front of your brackets would just be the number and 1x. When it comes to other numbers, such as 4, such as 6, 8, and so on, at the front of those brackets, we could either have 2x something and 2x something, or we could have 4x in the bracket with x. Now this is why it's difficult, because you don't know which scenario you're going to be using. The best way to do this is, again, to write out our factors of 6. So we can do that up here. Factors of 6. We have 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Now, we need to pick one of these that is going to be multiplied by either 2 and 2 or 4 and 1. So let's go with the 2 and the 3. Again, this might be just trial and error until we get it, to be honest. So if we think about it, let's pick the 4x and x situation on the right hand side first. When it comes to choosing between the 2x and the 2x, or the 4x and the 1x, just imagine the numbers going in. Imagine we put the 2 in here and the 3 in here. Again, remember the 4 is going to be multiplied by the 2. That will give us 8x. And then when we come to do this claw, it will give us 3x. So 8x plus 3x is going to be 11. If we were to switch these round and do a 3 and a 2, then 4 times 3 gives us 12, and we have a minus 2. So that situation could actually work. So notice that we need to make a minus 10. So we need to put a negative here, because 4x times minus 3 will give us minus 12, and then we can simply add the 2 there. If we expand this out, we'll get 4x squared minus 12x plus 2x minus 6. And if we were to simplify that down, we have 4x squared minus 10x minus 6. And you can see that is the correct answer. However, like I said before, sometimes there is more than one solution. If we think about the other side as well, if we put the minus 2 in here, then when it comes to expanding the bracket, we're going to have 4x squared in the first bit, which is correct obviously. 2x times minus 2 will give us minus 4. And then to get to minus 10, we're going to need another 3 here. So if we make this one a negative, because that's the only way that we're going to reach minus 10. If we expand this one out, we're going to have 4x squared minus 4x minus 6x. However, our last number, minus 3 times by minus 2, is going to be a positive 6. So when it comes to bringing these terms together, you can see that this time we have a positive 6, but we need a negative 6. So this answer cannot happen, in which case this is the only solution. I hope that helped. Thank you very much for watching.